Greetings, Commanders. We have ourselves a covert takedown mission to do today because I wanted to do some kind of an on-foot combat mission. And unfortunately, there are no settlement massacres or settlement raids or whatever the legal version is where you're going after pirates. There are none of those available right now. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to go and do a single covert takedown mission. The benefit of that is that we don't really know what's going to happen. They might be inside of a building and we need to infiltrate our way in. They might be outside just wandering around and we can just walk up and shoot them in the face. Who knows? We'll have to go there and find out. That is the one of the few gambling mechanics in the world that I actually kind of like, where you're just not really sure what you're going to end up doing. I don't like putting a lot of work into something and there being a gambling mechanic behind it. One of the issues that I have, like Path of Exile too, Path of Exile in general. Like, they want there to be gambling mechanics, but the gambling requires you to put a bunch of effort in first, and then you gamble without all that effort away, and it's like, no, I don't want to do it that way. If I put a bunch of effort into something, I want there to be a reward. But for something like this, where it's just kind of a throwaway thing, you're just going into the mission and see what happens, and you're not really having to do anything to get to the gamble part of it, it's not too bad. I can live with that. So for like a covert, and I intentionally choose the covert takedown missions if I'm going to do one of these on-foot single missions like this, because it gives you the opportunity to be like, ooh, I don't really know what this mission is going to end up being. Let's go check it out. Alright, so now we need to get to the settlements, and then go down and find our blue line. Oh, Allium Inn. Boy, it's been a while. It's been a little while since we've done that one. Okay, but we've all been to, if you follow this channel, you know, regularly, we've been to Allium Inn many times at this point, so I have a feeling that they're just going to be in one of the rooms off to the side, which means we're going to have to, like, break into a room and figure out where they are. Now, depending on, I don't know, do we have bounties on us right now? I still have Notoriety 1, which means I probably still have a bounty. I don't know if it's, I don't think it's from here, though. It's probably, we've probably done enough missions at this point that it's probably from the other area. But I don't know. I don't really know. Why do we have Notoriety 1? What did I do? What did I do? I don't know what I did to give myself notoriety. Like, we were out in a part of the we were out in a part of the bubble where there was just not a lot happening, and there was a lot of, like, low or no security zones, so I don't know. I don't know why we would have a level 1 security. If you happen to know, let me know in the comments. I don't remember. You must be a public subscriber for me to see you, though, because I do filter out my contents so that I am not exposed to all of the people out there who just want to be assholes. Because there's a lot of those out there. If you want to have a conversation with me, you got to do it. You got to do it as a public subscriber. YouTube does not offer me the ability to just have subscribers. For whatever reason, it forces you to make your subscriptions public for me to see that, because it doesn't just offer me a subscribers only filter. No, it's a public subscribers filter. I don't know why. It would be really nice if they changed that, but they probably won't. So let's get ourselves down to the planet here. We're going to try to manage our speed as best we can. You want to be less than 10 kilometers per second when you come down here to do this. We'll slowly add throttle as we get to 10 kilometers per second so that we can minimize the time it takes us to get down to the glide. Full throttle, and then I typically zero it out just as we're coming to the glide, so that way I don't space out and accidentally just full throttle into the ground because I forgot that the throttle was set to what it's set to. So I now manually use thruster mode to just get down to the surface. We're actually going to land on the other side of these buildings here. Wondering why I flung myself around, you can get a lot of deceleration by having all of your thrusters just kind of going and working. So if you find yourself moving very quickly towards if you find yourself moving very quickly towards something, then it's usually a good idea to, let's see, I am going to grab I'm going to grab a couple of E-breaches, because they're typically in one of two places. They're usually down in, I don't know. I did have one where, you know, somebody ended up being like way over by the power plant. I was able to just shoot them out in the open like that. So I don't know. Roosevelt Head is our dude. I'm getting that bad feeling that the guys are just stuck where they're standing. There's this bug that happens where yeah, I think the NPCs here are bugged, which sucks, which means that this is going to be like a nothing mission basically. It's not our guy, is it? Okay. So our guy is 118 meters off that direction, which means that they're usually, most of the time they're either in that, oops. They're usually in this building here or all the way at the end over there. Yeah, I think the NPCs are more or less disabled on this mission, which sucks. Is anybody looking at me over here? Doesn't seem like it. So we're gonna go ahead and apply the e-breach. So yeah, this ended up being a big nothing of a mission because it's just the way it goes sometimes. I'm gonna save myself an e-breach since kind of no point. Shoot that person, and unfortunately, that ended up being pretty much a bullshit mission. But that's part of the gamble, right? We do the mission, we don't know how it's gonna turn out. Sometimes they're in a secure area and you have to like infiltrate your way in. Other times they're standing out in the open, you can just shoot them. And then other times there's no danger at all because the server bugs out and there ends up being the guards and there's no patrols or nothing like that. You're able to just walk right in and do whatever. I mean, I don't prefer it to be that way, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. You know, it kind of highlights that developers need to go back and fix a lot of just infrastructure stuff. Like it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous that you can just walk into a sector and just blast people to death because there's just, you know, the guards aren't doing anything. There's no patrols. You don't have to be really careful at all. If they happen to be looking at a place that you need to be going into and they're not going to turn around or do anything, that kind of sucks. But other than that, you end up just kind of just waltzing in, doing what you got to do, and then getting the hell out of there. That's not really that fun, if I'm honest with you. Like, I know I complain a fair bit about, you know, some things being too difficult, and I don't want to have to deal with certain irritating things and all that kind of stuff. But I want there to be like a slight bit of a challenge. I don't want it to just be like a cakewalk every time. That's just boring. I think I may have overdid it. May have overdone it, but we recovered and we'll get ourselves to Batuta Beacon, turn in our mission, and yeah, that will be it for today. Unfortunately, I was hoping that would be a little bit more stimulating than it was, but I have no control over what the missions end up being like, so it is what it is. Hopefully tomorrow we'll go ahead and do an actual, you know, digital infiltration or something like that, where we have to like sneak in and do all the cloak and dagger stuff, but unfortunately today, it doesn't kind of work that way. Let's get ourselves within 7.5 kilometers so that we can do our docking request. We can get ourselves landed, turn in our mission, and call it a day. So yeah. Half throttle to slow ourselves down, do some maneuvering to keep slow ourselves down. I really screwed that up. I don't normally screw that up that bad. Alright, well, anyways, that's going to go ahead and be it for today. Hopefully you guys had fun. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. If you'd like to contribute to the channel, we have the thanks button available, or you can just visit the PayPal or Patreon links down in the video description. So again, thanks for watching. Be sure to come back for our next episode, and I'll see you then.